Hey guys, welcome to Fishing with Phil. Today we're going to talk about crankbait fishing. Right now it's post-spawn up here up north and it can get a little tough. The fish are done spawning, they moved off the beds. They haven't completely moved out to their summer locations and they're just in a kind of a weird mood. On top of that, you got weather systems coming through, fronts, rain, so it can make it tough. That's why I like using a crankbait. Now the reason I like using a crankbait, and I'll use a crankbait from when the ice comes off the lakes all the way till the ice comes back on the lakes. I love throwing a crankbait. I love the bite. I love the feel. I love everything about it. A couple reasons why I really like it though are it tells me what mood the fish are in, what mood the bass are in. Let me give you an example. Like right now, the fish are done spawning, they haven't moved out, and they can be tough to catch. So if I'm going down a shoreline, say I got a nice rocky shoreline, and I'm fishing it and fishing it, I can throw a crankbait and I can cover a lot of water. That's the number one reason why I like it. I can cover a lot of water, figure out where the fish are at. Next is, once I do get a bite, that's going to tell me a lot of different things about the mood of the bass and what's going on that day. Let's say I'm going down a shoreline and I get a bite on a crankbait. Well, first off, it tells me there's fish there. Okay, great. I know there's fish in the area, just had a bite. Next thing it's going to tell me is if I get that fish in. There's a couple different things I'm going to look for. If I get that bite and he comes up and spits it off, or I get him in and I got just hooked him with the back treble hook, that's going to, right there is telling me a couple different things. One, either I don't have the right color, so I might change to a different color, try it again, keep working again. Or I do that, I change colors and they're still just getting the back hook, they're not real aggressive. They're just smacking at it, because a crankbait's going to get a lot of those instinctual strikes. You know, you're bringing a bomb, you hit a rock, you hit a stump or something, it just goes that way, boom, they're going to hit it. But they might not be feeding. They might not be actually targeting crayfish or bluegill or minnows or whatever you're trying to imitate with a crankbait. So that's when I will... I do that, I change colors like I say, and I'll change into something else. I'll go to a jig, slow it down, I'll go to a shaky head, something like that, and that'll probably pick me up a couple more bites along that stretch of shoreline. Now, if you're casting a crankbait and they choke it, you know, you bring them in, you can't barely see the bill down their mouth, that's what we live for. I mean, that's when I'll be taking some Tylenol at the end of that day, because my back will be killing me from cranking. Because I will just not put that crankbait rod down the rest of the day. Just choking them. But that's why I like it. It tells me where the fish are at, I can cover a lot of water, and what mood the bass are in. So the first thing is square bills. I really like the Rapala DT Fat series. DT Fat 03. See that? This is their shad color, and this is probably one of my favorite square bill cranks. It has VMC hooks, it has the shore set hooks, which are really nice. It got just a regular treble hook with one real big sweeping treble hook on there, and a lot of these times these fish are just swiping at it, or they're aggressive, but they're just hitting it, trying to kill it before they eat it. Especially smallmouth will do that a lot. They'll smack a bait before they eat it, and that hook will catch them, and you'll catch a lot more fish with those. I like to use this earlier in the year. I like to use this around wood. This comes through trees really, really well. Got a lay down coming out. I'll throw it down the sides of the lay down. I'll bang it off. If I got just one big lay down with not a lot of branches, I'll cast across it, reel it in, bang it, this crankbait will be going, then it'll just do something like that, and a lot of times that'll initiate a strike. Really good bait. My next one is, this is a man's. Now this is a great crankbait for around grass, especially if the grass is not all the way up yet. If you've got a grass flat where it's still a foot or two below the water, this is awesome. This will go just right underneath the water, 6 inches, a foot maybe. I don't even think that deep. And you could just smoke a lot of fish on this. Great bait for the Potomac. For you guys fishing the Potomac River, I mean, this was a #1 bait down there. It probably still is, just a lot of people don't talk about it. Really good bait. Really good bait. Then we move into what I like to call the shallow crankbait. It's square bill. It's only going about 3. It says 3 foot. I find it going 4 or 5 sometimes, especially them DTs. But if I want to stay within 3 or 4 foot, then I'm going to go into like a Rapala DT series. And let me see here if I got any. Right here, I have a couple DT4s. Now this was a custom DT4 color I had made. I apologize, I cannot remember the guy who made it. It's been a long time. It's a crappy color. It's a great little bait. I had this in a DT6 too and lost it, and it drives me crazy. And then this is just your regular shad color. And these are great, in your shallow, you got shallow flats, you got a little rocky point or something, not a lot of water on top. Cast these out, roll it back in, just hitting the bottom, digging, hitting rocks, bouncing off stumps. Great bait. My #1 bait is the DT6. Been doing very good on this one lately. This is their new bluegill color, and it's awesome. Got a little bit of orange on the belly there. And then I also like, especially earlier in the year, I'm going to go with the Demon, just your red crawl. It's got a little bit like purple sparkles on top. And then they come out with also this new smallmouth color, which is, this looks like a little smallmouth bass. White bottom. I love a DT6. If I'm fishing rocks and I'm fishing a shoreline where it's like deep water and it's coming up like a dam or something like that, I'm throwing a DT6. I'm throwing it right next to the shoreline. I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bounce it, bang it off those rocks, and I'm gonna catch fish on it. If they're there, I'm gonna catch them. Also, you go into, I like bombers. This is just their baby bass. A little bit of orange. I don't know if you can see that. A little bit of orange on the belly. Great little bait. And what's weird about crankbaits is you will find that certain lakes like certain colors. That's just all there is to it. You could go to one lake and just smoke them on a bluegill color DT6. Get to a lake down the road and they don't want to touch it, but they might eat the baby bass. So just try, change it up, do a couple different things. Just keep trying different colors, and that's where that tip comes into where I was talking about, where if you catch them on the back hook or something, change colors, because you might change a color and then boom, you start smoking them. They'll choking the crankbait. So don't be afraid to try. Okay guys, what you see here is a little local lake I fish, and this is just a dam area. It's nothing but rock all along here. And what I'll do is I'll get my kayak or my boat and I'll get parallel with that dam and I'll cast up or down to keep my crankbait in the strike zone longer, banging off the rocks, and those bass will get real tight to that, especially if there's wind blowing on it. What you see with the pink arrow is the outflow. Really good place to try first. It seems like the bigger bass will sit up on that and ambush prey. But this is just one example of what I'm fishing with a crankbait. Okay guys, same lake, and this is just another shoreline. This is all rocks here where you see the blue is at, and it's really deep water out there, but it comes up and it's all rocky. Really great place to target bass. You see the pink arrows is the spawning flat down there in the bottom right hand corner, and up the top left was the spawning cove. What they'll do is those bass will pull out, they'll sit in this deeper water, and then when you get a lot of wind or something, they'll push up on that bank. Really good place to try crankbait fishing. Alright guys, so I hope you learned something today. Get out there, throw a crankbait. Don't be afraid to throw it. I'm telling you, it will catch a lot of fish for you. And if it doesn't, it's going to tell you what the fish want. And then you can move into something else, like I said, a jig, a shaky head, or something like that. And it's going to help you catch fish, whether it's with the crankbait or moving on to other baits. I'm thinking next video I'm either going to do another technique driven video like about drop shot, or I'm going to do a lure review video maybe on Kitech swim baits. So let me know. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see, what you want me to do. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram. It's fishingwithphil24. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch my video. There's a million videos on YouTube, so I appreciate you taking the time to watch mine. Thanks again. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video. I really want to build this channel up for you guys, and we'll see you soon.